Awesome. And great work to the two groups that show their programs. You guys are crushing it. I will say the best part about building these programs is that there's no such thing as a perfect program. You just get to continually build it and see what works best. So whenever we're like going over these, like it can be whatever you want, whatever you want. So with that, we're going to dive into how to build that big week on Teambuildr. So best part is, let's say we want to copy over that same warm up to multiple days. Well, I don't want to go in and enter it multiple times. So first thing you'll do, well, the first thing I'm going to show you is this copy feature over here to the left under calendar actions. So I can go ahead and press copy. This box will appear. So we can either copy to a single day or multiple days or a date range. So if I want to copy to an entire week, I can select the day I want to copy it from. So we'll say the 7th, or if we're doing next week, we have the 21st to the 25th, and it will appear on those multiple days. And you can select the days you want to copy it to. With that, if I only want to copy the warm up, or let's say I want to copy over the same warm up and recovery to multiple days of that week, you would just go down here to select items to copy and unclick everything you don't want to transfer over. But if you want to transfer over some of the same movements, let's say from Monday, I will click Monday, and then I will unclick everything that I don't want to pull over. So if I just want to pull over warm-ups, hit warm up the days I want to select it to, and then that select the week that you're pulling it over to. So for you guys, you might be working on this week or the following week. So we'll select the 21st to the 25th. And now when I pull it over, you just press copy workout, and then it's going to save that. With that, if you want to copy it to the top of the workout, we have the specifics. And if it's a warm up, it may be at the start of the workout. So you just press place at the top of the workout and then press copy workout, and then you're good to go. It's not going to copy on this view just because I already have a bunch of programming within here, but that is how you're going to copy anything over when you create that workout. Next piece I'm going to show you is, all right, well, now I have to scroll through and see day after day. No, you do not have to. We have this option over here called the week view. So what I can do is I can add exercises to those specific days. So that way I can see a week of what I'm doing. What movements am I doing? What patterns have I not hit? What body parts have I not hit? Make sure I have my warm-ups. This is a good place to really see it in full. So whether you want to create it on this view, I know it's a little smaller, but this is also a good place to see an overview, maybe after you go one by one, day by day within building that workout. Another option when building this 1 week is we have this option right here called sidebar. So this is going to be, again, under calendar options. This is going to pull up some different options. So if I want to see quick stats and you just want to see how many reps they're looking at, or if you had actual athlete data within here, I can see kind of like what their load is right now. And then another option is this could be good to see how many movement patterns, like how many leg exercise have I done. You can hit tag breakdown, and then it will show me based on the exercise, like how many movements I have. So again, this is hypothetical. This is not real, but this kind of shows me I have a little bit of balance between all of the exercises I chose. So if you, let's say you had a ton of leg exercises, this will show you, oh my gosh, I've done so many leg exercises. You don't have to use that, but that is an option if you want to see if you've done a little bit too much of one movement pattern. But overall, that is how you're going to create your week view. Again, you can go one by one. So starting at Monday through Friday, adding everything one by one, or you can hit that week view to see a full picture. Even if you want to add from here, you can still add exercises from this page. And then one more time, hit copy if you want to copy anything so you don't have to re-enter it in. Press copy. You can select it to a single date, multiple days, a date range. That's going to be for you guys the same as multiple days because we're going from a date range. And then you can select the different items you want to copy over. And that is how we're going to build that week. And if you have any questions, I can answer any of those briefly in the chat, or if you want to break out into the rooms already.
We can go over a few questions. Bruce, you had a calendar view question. You want to ask that? Some of you guys have other questions and I'm noting them, but they're more like the advanced level stuff that we're going to ask Melissa a little bit later. So we'll skip those for now just so we can keep moving. But Bruce, go ahead and ask your question.
Sure. I was wondering in the calendar view, do you have a drag drop feature so where you can select one of the exercises and drag it to somewhere else within one of the days or one of the weeks? Do you have that ability?
Yeah, that's a great question. So right now we could only do that within a single day. I hate to give this answer, but again, that is something that will be coming out in the fall within Teambuildr.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Dustin Reddick, go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, I was wondering with athletic development, if I have a workout made, is there a way I could have the whole week planned out for like the advanced and then obviously a novice attached to it? So like all the ones who are beginning training, I want them to do something similar, but do I have to create a whole nother calendar for them, or is there a way to match those together?
Oh, yeah. So what you can do is, so within the calendars, not to go completely off topic, but within the calendars, this is our demo account, but you all created a main calendar. So within the main calendar, there's sub calendars. So if you wanted to use the same program for both advanced and novice, you can copy that program over to both of these accounts. And then now I can go within that novice account, or for this, it's position specific. I can go within that novice account and adjust things based off of the novice needs without taking away from the focus of the program. So that is a possibility. Yes.
Sweet. Okay. So all the other questions that I'm seeing, we are going to answer later. And I'm noting them. So I think we're just going to get right back into another breakout rooms again. So this time we're going to take that same focus that we just had. So we've got our sport and our mesocycle and our microcycle already. We're going to break back out in our rooms and we're going to try to build a full week. Okay. And whether that means I'm not asking you to do 7 days, guys. I'm asking you to do 2 to 3 days. And hopefully they complement each other. So I don't want it to just be like the same thing twice, right? So find something where, remember, we're thinking about those strength related movements where we've got horizontal push and pull, vertical push and pull, bilateral lower body, hinge related, squat related, unilateral lower body. And we're kind of complementing, this day and this day, or we're doing 3 full bodies, or we're doing a lower upper. And in that case, maybe you can copy it over and maybe then just make a few tweaks. So like Melissa was saying, so maybe I've made a lower day. Okay. Now maybe I want to make an upper day. Then I copy those 2 over to the next. So say Monday, Tuesday, maybe we have a rest or active recovery day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, have another lower upper, copy those over, and then just change the exercisers and make the tweaks because you already have this template that you've made from those first days. Does that make sense? So let's try to get in there and see what we can do. And I like some of the comments, like some of you guys are saying, oh man, like I'm learning so much just from the people in my group because they program differently from me, or I've never programmed before and they have. So again, like Melissa said, there's no like one program. Like we've said this before, there's no one program that works. We're trying to give you sort of this jumping off point of like, this is the framework. And then you guys can be creative. You just need to know why. Because guess what? Your athletes are going to ask you why. And when you don't have a reason, you lose them, right? If I came on here and I was like, hey guys, yeah, you should do this and this. And then somebody asked me a question or said why. And I was like, I don't know, right? You would start to lose a little bit of the buy-in. And that's what we're trying to do with our athletes, right? We're trying to create buy-in. We want to make sure we know why we're doing what we're doing and keeping that end in mind from that framework that we have been referring to all week, right? So sending you out again into your breakout rooms. Now, this one is going to be 35 minutes. Okay, we're going to be in there from about now until 8:45-ish, maybe a little bit later because it's 8:11 right now. and then we're going to come back and do some reports. So I'm going to call on a couple of people. Melissa and I will be bopping through rooms again. We'll probably start where we ended off. But do your best. If we're having technical difficulties, guys, do your best. I'm sorry that some people don't have PCs and we're just struggling a little bit on that. But we will talk about all of the things when we get back. But go for it. Alyssa, go ahead and send them out into their groups.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, we're going to open up the rooms.
I am going to call on room 23, group 23. And we're gonna, I'm reading the chat. Go ahead and let me know if you're, what's your calendar's name? It might be room 23 or group 23, or it might be something else. Who's reporting? I think that was Mark. Yep.
Football in season.
All right, let me look for
Football
that.
in season group, I think is what it was.
Football in season.
In season.
I see football, and then I see a subgroup football preseason. Football test.
We are football space in space season space group.
Why do I not see this?
Maybe it's cloaked.
Maybe it's a subgroup.
Okay. Melissa, can you help me out? Do you see it?
Yeah. Let me go on the dashboard real quick.
It's so weird.
Try reloading it. That worked for some of the people in our group when they reloaded.
Oh, that's also true.
Yeah, I see it.
There it is. Yep. I just needed to reload the page. Cool. All right. I don't see it. Oh, I was on the wrong week. Okay, cool. I'm going to share this, and then Mark, you're going to talk us through it. 1 second. I love all the technical difficulties. It's great. All right, Mark, can you let me know if you can see this?
Yep.
Still coming up? Okay, cool. So we've got a Sunday.
Yeah, so we've got college football is what we were talking about. We've got a Sunday lift and a Wednesday lift. Sunday after the game. Games are on Saturday. Wednesday to give us 72 hours before the game, before our next major lift, or before our next major event. So we have 72 hours of recovery. Coming off the game, we're going to hit a dynamic warm-up. Just use the one that was in there. Real basic dynamic warm-up. Most of the time, this is coach-led when we're talking about large groups. So through a dynamic warm-up in there can be modified by the coach as needed. Next up, we talked about major characteristics that we wanted to maintain while in season during football. We want to maintain speed, number one, and strength. We're going to get plenty of conditioning from the on-the-field activities. So we don't need to worry about a lot of conditioning in our strength and conditioning program.
Got it.
For our cleans, we went with a system kind of prioritized maintaining high intensity to maintain that high speed, high power output, and then high strength output. But we kept the volume pretty low because in experience, like volume is what messes you up. If you're thinking like where you've been the most sore, it's probably from sets of 20, not from sets of 2 at like 80, 85%.
Right.
So we're kind of doing that minimal effective dose training that Joanna was talking about last night, but we're trying to maintain those fitness characteristics through that minimal effective dose of high intensity, low volume. After we do, so we're choosing like clean pulls on our Sunday after the game, skill activity, but not as high skill as a full clean. Our full cleans will be on Wednesday. So we have some recovery time and we can get back into that movement pattern. Then we're doing some barbell bench press on Sunday. Again, a relatively not a super high skill activity. Guys will recover quickly from it. Football players in experience love to bench press. And it gives you a little like boost after the game, especially after a win. Dudes love throwing 80%, 85% on the bar, hit a set of 2.
Listen, Mark, I just want to make a little comment about that. I love that. So sometimes what we're programming has nothing to do with the science of lifting and whatever. has totally to do with the mindset of the athletes that we're working with. And are they having fun? Are they enjoying it? Are they going to want to do this on the day after the game? I'm so tired. Oh, sick bench day. I love bench day. Bicep curls. I love bicep curls. Right. So like getting even just like that part of the nuance and the like art of programming. I love that you're mentioning that right now because that is so important. That's another note to take away from the seminar, if anything, guys. All right, Mark, go ahead.
And then after our bench press, we've got some body armor kind of stuff. Just maintain muscle mass, some hypertrophy work, lat pull downs, some lying band leg curls, a little bit of hamstring work out in their posterior chain. Again, not super necessary because we're doing so much sprinting in practice, but we want to maintain that that hamstring so we're not having any hamstring pulls in season. Leg curls have been something I've done in the past that we, worked out pretty well. And on the Wednesday, we're looking pretty similar. We got cleans instead of clean pulls. Working up
and
to
explain again why you did that because I really like your explanation for that.
So power cleans are a little bit more of a high skill activity. So I don't want to do them directly after the game where we do clean pulls instead, but power clean, high skill activity. So now we're a few days out from the game. We're recovered. We should be feeling pretty good. We haven't had too many intense practices yet. So we can do that high skill activity at a high intensity to maintain our power output.
Yep. And we're recovered and we have time to recover before our next game.
Yep.
These are always,
but I've always been told, I think that's from the Essentials of Strength and Conditioning. Maybe wrong, but
I mean, and it's, again, it's like relative to any individual, right? But also like what you're doing right now is you're describing to me why, right? And that is what I'm asking for from all of you guys as you guys are programming. Why did you pick a power clean on this day and a clean pull on this day? Well, I thought it was cool and it's just like a progression. All right, that's okay for an answer. But like, as we get more advanced at programming, we might have a little bit more reasoning behind, hey, like I'm looking at this bigger picture. And when we did that macro cycle to micro cycle demo yesterday, it's like, I need to look at the big picture and think about where my athlete is coming from and where they're going to be. And what do I need to do now to set them up for success? So that's why I really like that, that explanation. All right, go ahead.
I was gonna say, then some squats afterwards. Like Melissa said, squats, best exercise in the world. Maintain some strength there while we're lower body strength.
And we're still working in those strength rep ranges and like a little bit lower than like the true strength percentages, but that's totally fine for in season, right?
Yeah, in season, like I told my group, availability is your number one asset. Like working out in the weight room is great, but if you can't show up on game day, you're not useful to the team. So that's the priority number one.
Yep. We say that on the tactical side too. If you're not ready, like if you're not a deployable asset, like who cares if you can squat, 450? I don't care. Anyways, all right, go ahead.
And then same thing when we get down below that, we just got some body armor stuff, some barbell rows, and then some leg curls again, posterior chain work. Not super concerned if they get that in or not, just making sure we really hit those first two lifts. And then we got a recovery day on Thursday just to have something fun, get them in the facility, do a little flush, 10 minutes on the bike, nice easy pace, just get the blood flowing. Thursday used to be our hardest practice day when I worked in football. I don't know why. It didn't really make sense to me, but that's what our coach liked. So we'd flush them out with a little bike ride and then some yoga routine. I got them going to yoga. And then because I like to play around with the notes, I threw some hot, cold tub contrast in there just to, do some feel good recovery. There was already a pre-made yoga routine. So.
Oh, nice. I was like, dang, you guys wrote this whole thing.
Oh no, absolutely not. You got to use the Teambuildr pre-made stuff.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. Let the thing work. Let your tools work for you. That's awesome. All right, cool. Thank you so much for that, Mark. Great explanation. Let me get one more group to tell me very quickly about their week. Somebody in the chat. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Quick, 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 quick. Who's it gonna be? David. Unmute yourself and tell me what group you are.
We were team 29.
Is that what your calendar's called?
I believe so, yeah.
It is. Yeah, I can see it here. Okay. I don't see, oh, you guys programmed up in March, I think. That's
That was
fine.
a technical difficulty.
That's okay. That's okay. Hold on a second. Let me find my share. And again, like, guys, so you'll see this. So you'll see that on the calendar at the top left there, that they're up in that like last week of March, first week of April. And that's okay. Like, again, we're not doing this perfectly, and you guys will have some time to play around with the app and see exactly where to put things and how to do things and whatever. All right, David, go ahead and talk me through this.
So we chose preseason football, as it says, and then day one of our week was basically leg days. We started with some dynamic warm-ups that were already pre-programmed in Teambuildr, followed by some questionnaires. How'd you sleep on a scale of 1 to 10? What's your mood? It'd be great if they had the smiley face chart. That would have been awesome. How are you feeling right now? And then how much have you drank, meaning water? And then, like Melissa said, can't go wrong with the back squat. And we kept it pretty simple as far as sets and reps. Kind of a lot of hypertrophy, 3 sets, somewhere between. This particular day, we were kind of going for like max weight, so we only did 3 to 6 reps.
Okay.
And then finish it off with some static stretching.
Your preseason, what's your overall microcycle muscle adaptation goal?
That I kind of, if I'm being honest with you, I still kind of trying to figure that whole thing out.
Okay.
What were the options again for that?
So that would be either hypertrophy, strength, power, muscular endurance, and you could have like a mixture of them. You just have to be able to explain it.
Yeah, I think for that first day would be power.
Okay.
That's why we kept the reps low, and then the other days hypertrophy.
Okay, cool.
Kind of maintaining some consistency, but still building strength.
Cool. All right, so we're going to the chest and try day.
Yes, ma'am. Again, dynamic warm-ups, pre-programmed, same questionnaire. Then we started with some bench press, 3 sets of 10, tricep pull downs. We didn't do a whole lot of custom
Percentages and stuff.
Yeah, like Mark's team.
That's okay. We've got, again, you guys were limited with time. There was a learning curve. I'm not worried about these being perfect. We're talking through and trying to figure out what we're doing. So I love this.
Yes, ma'am. And then low incline dumbbell press, followed by some tricep push down, isometric and dynamic. I'm not sure if that necessarily means like close grip, but I kind of just figured we throw in something different there.
Okay. Was this an exercise already in Teambuildr?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Wonder, I don't know exactly what that would be. It might be a fast push down and then a hold at the bottom, because ISO and dynamic are kind of oppositional.
And then just more static stretching, kind of focus on the areas that we were working. And then day 3 is just a lot of high intensity cardio. We did a sprint ladder, starting off at 20 yards, second round being 30, then 40 yards. And then
okay, and you wrote that in the description. Cool.
Yes, ma'am. Then we gave them 30 seconds of rest in between sprints at 90% intensity.
Nice.
For each sprint. And then a cool down, light jog for about 5 minutes. And then day, what's that, 4 was rest day. Then
I love that you even wrote in rest day. So you guys are like learning how to do, yeah, you can like label things. I love this. Okay, keep going.
Yes, ma'am. And then day 5 was just basically leg day part 2. And then we kind of just copied from the first leg day.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Going with the bar back squats again. And then day 6 we wanted to do some back and buys. So we did some back extensions, 3 sets of 8, bent over rows, 3 sets of 8, and then some curls to finish it off. We didn't do anything custom here. And then we just finished it off with some upper body stretching. And then that's Saturday. So, you know, don't bother us. We're on a boat somewhere.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, David. So
Yes, ma'am.
guys, great job. I know that we had some technical difficulties of like figuring out how to get into the app and doing all that stuff, but for the most part, you guys crushed it. And I'm going to kick it to Melissa to kind of answer some questions. So Melissa, I think I'm going to start with some of the questions if you want to, or if do you have some specific, okay. I'll start with the questions that we had in the chat. And then, yeah. And then we can go on to anything else you want to show us about the app and then talk about their access to the app, and then we'll wrap it up.
Let's do it.
So, somebody asked, is the app in English only?
Yes. So right now it is in English only, but that is something we are working on doing.
Cool.
But we do have someone that does speak Spanish on staff as well.
Okay. Scott Coda, you were asking about including cognitive stuff in there. Can you unmute yourself and ask your question about that? Maybe. Because I wasn't quite tracking on your question exactly.
I can go ahead and
if you want to just like talk about how to integrate some stuff.
Yeah, so there are different ways that we can enter any type of cognitive testing, or even if we want to enter, like, I'm just going to call it an after action or review cognitive testing, we can do that within Teambuildr. So basically what you could do one of two things. You can set up that cognitive testing as like a lift, like an exercise, or you can even enter a note within that cognitive testing and add an attachment. So let's say it's video based or application based. You can always enter that within the notes section as well. So there are ways to still assess and track cognitive testing, obviously based off of what you're looking for there. So yes, that is possible.
Jonathan Kennedy was asking, how do you add athletes?
Oh, I was muted. I keep doing that. How we add athletes. Yeah, let me share my screen and I can just show you a quick way to do that. So there are multiple ways that we can add athletes. We can add them like within a bulk upload, or even we can give them a code so that they can just create their own account on their phone. So what you will do as a coach is that you would go to Coaches Tools, you'd hit Manage Users, and now this is going to be that athlete panel. So you can do, like I said, a couple things, add them one by one, enter in their first and last name. And when it comes to an email, not all the times we want to give our personal email. So you can make up whatever you like, because they're not going to receive an email if you're adding them in one by one. So you can make up a fake email if you wanted. Another thing you can do is upload via Excel document. So if you already have a list of athletes, first, last name, and email, easy upload for us. So you just send that over. You might actually, I think you could do it on your end, and then you just upload that Excel. All athletes will be now added within Teambuildr, and then that will send them an email to their account unless you set a password for them, like a temporary password. Another thing you can do is use an easy join code. So whenever you're creating your calendars, you can set a group for these individuals to be in, whether that is, I'm just going to give you an example of JV, varsity. Then you can add them to that specific group directly by giving them an easy join code and password. They enter that into their phone on the application, and that prompts them to create their account.
Awesome. I keep muting myself because the trains are going by and it's so loud. Jimenez, you had a question. Now I can't remember what it was, but if you remember.
Yes, I do remember. It was regarding the trying to copy a training plan and just duplicating it for a different day. I wasn't able to figure that piece out.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me go ahead. I might as well just leave my screen sharing. Let me do that.
Yeah, just leave it up.
I'll leave it up, make it easy. Yeah, so when you're looking to copy an entire program or a specific day when you were just creating it?
just a specific day, like our Thursday, which we created for today. We wanted to do it next Thursday as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll actually copy this one over for you. So over on the left, there's calendar actions. You hit copy, and then now I'm going to select what day, if I want to copy to a single day, multiple days, or an entire date range. So if I want to copy an entire month, I can do that. So I'll select today's date, and then I'll copy it over to the 28th, and then I can select what I want to include when I copy that over. So that's if you want to include just your warm-up or so forth. And then you're going to select which calendar you want to copy that to. So I'm just have this as Armed Forces PT. I can copy that over, or if I want to copy it over to a specific athlete, I can do that as well. And then where I want it to be placed, if that's an option you want to do, and then hit copy. Now I'm going to go over to the 28th. The exact same thing is now listed.
Got it. For some reason, ours wasn't showing like the calendars. We would type in our
Right?
name, and then, yeah, it was an issue.
Mm.
But it tracking. That's how it's supposed to. I mean, we're doing the right thing. It's just we weren't seeing the calendars populate. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, no problem.
I don't know how to say your name. Jessil Rama. You had a question earlier. That was more for the stuff we're talking about now. Jessil? Maybe not. Okay. Kelly Huerta, are you there? Do you have your question from earlier?
I think you guys answered it earlier. It was about whether or not you could access it through an iPad, but obviously they said that, yeah, if you go directly to the website.
Yes. Yeah. Or on the iPad, you can download the application as well. So one or the other.
Stephen Vernier.
Yes, ma'am.
You had a question earlier about, I don't remember what it was about.
Yes, ma'am. I was able, she popped into the breakout room. I was able to ask her right there. So I appreciate it.
Okay. And then Derek Williams, did you have a question or did we answer that one already?
It's been answered already.
Fantastic. Look at us go. Hannah Walter, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, I had a question on my website. It says at the top right, it says 7 days left renew. Is this something that we'll have to pay for at some point, or is this part of being an STS coach?
Uh-oh, all right. The news is finally going to come out. I was going to wait till the end, but Hannah, I think it's time. So
the perfect transition.
Great, I love it. So I'm actually gonna, as a tool for you all to use and try and understand and develop your skills, I'm gonna be extending that for all of you for 2 months total. You'll be able to play around within Teambuildr and use these skills you learn for 2 months. But after that 2-month period, then you would have to pay for that yourself. And if you're interested in that, you can just shoot me an email and I can drop my email in the chat as well. But there you go, that is your surprise.
And also Melissa, there are like different levels, right? So like different price points and like different levels of functionality or users.
Right. Yep.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So there's going to be different price points based off of how many users you have. So if you're looking for more detailed data, to look at detailed data, that would be more in our highest plan. And then if you have like a smaller team, you can utilize the smaller plan. But let's say you still want to look at more data capturing within the larger plan, you can still do that. So you really can customize based off of your needs. So what we do is we just ask what you need, and then we kind of build that out for you. But that's how our pricing structure works.
Robert Sheehan, you had a question.
Yeah, so I was actually scrolling through that the other day, the actual pricings for everything, but I saw that one of them, it was either an NSCA study group study guide or a CSCS study guide. Is that an individual thing, or is that like you get the plan and then you can add on the CSCS study guide or NSCA study guide, whichever one it is?
So you can do one of two things. You can get it added on if you decide Teambuildr is what you want to utilize, or we can just process that for you separately. So you don't necessarily have to have Teambuildr for that resource if that's something you're interested in.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wendy Marotta, you had a question?
Yeah, thanks. A question came up in our breakout group is, is there part of this or will there be future iterations that are sports specific? So like we chose, they were very accommodating for me, swimming. So we did like a dry land workout for a pre swim. And, but we're looking to see if you could actually program in the follow on, right? What we're going to do in the pool. So it got us talking about, do you have like sports specific? I know we're talking sports performance overall here, but just the application is great. I mean, it's really fantastic from that perspective.
So Wendy, are you looking like to build out like a practice like plan for swimming?
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny you bring that up because Teambuildr has a new product coming out called the Practice Planner. So it's for sport coaches. Yes, it's coming out in June. So if I might as well say it. We have a new product and we have a pre-sale right now, 25% off for a practice planner. If you're a sports coach, I'm just going to put that out there.
Awesome.
And
okay,
they will
that's
integrate.
great.
So Teambuildr and that practice planner are going to integrate, not the first iteration, but they're going to integrate that way. Now the sport coach and the strength coach can, keep track of what they're doing, but we're not going to go down that rabbit hole, but.
Because it would be great for our athletes to be able to see the whole, this is what we're doing for the week and see the whole workout, what we're going into and see why, hey, we programmed dry land training this day because we're going to focus on fly in the pool, right? And it really brings it all together for them. So that's super. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Melissa, I have one more question. We've got about like 3 more minutes to chat and then we're going to have to wrap it up. But any integration with like smart technology, watches, Oura Ring, Whoop, blah, blah, blah. And then any other advanced functionality you want to share with us real quick?
Yes. So if you guys do have wearables, you have the ability to, if you have I have to make this clear, an Apple product. So if you have an iPhone, you're able to integrate with your wearable. We do not integrate with Android, but we do have that ability to utilize wearables. So because you guys have this feature, I'm just going to show you real quick. We have something, it's our AMS feature. So we have different dashboards. If you're really into data and kind of want to play around with what that looks like, you can connect your wearable through the mobile app, and you're able to look at I'm just going to call it your readiness overall, kind of where these different variables stand. So we are able to integrate with VBT, wearables, as well as ForceDeck. So there's all different metrics we're able to integrate with. And then another cool feature, I think that would be important for you all, is going to be all these different types of reports. So I know we were wondering, well, how can we view this data? How do we know what they're doing? So we have these different reports, whether that is activity, so we're able to see what they've completed or if they've done their workouts over the past week. So it will be, like I said previously, green if they did it, red if they skipped the workout, or green if they started it but never finished it. And then if we want to see how much of their program they completed, we have this completion report that will just strictly give a percentage of how much of the lift they completed. Workout results, again, that's going to show individually day by day their results that they entered in for each exercise. And then if we wanted to look at questionnaire results as an individual or a whole, we could also look at those results too. And then that will be flagged based off of the threshold that they answered. So if they're getting a smaller amount of sleep, so less sleep, it will be red. If they're getting a great amount of sleep, it's going to be green. So there's different ways to look at different data metrics, whether it is subjective or objective within Teambuildr reports. So this is a feature that you guys can play around in. And when you play around with it, you want to make sure you go over here to the left and select that calendar. So you want to select that calendar that you built. So that way we're taking the data and reporting if you enter anything in from a specific area. So that's kind of the main feature I really wanted to showcase, is the different reporting options that you all have as you're playing around within Teambuildr.
Awesome. Melissa, thank you so much. And we're already getting, like, I don't know if you just saw the chat, but it would just blew up when you said people are going to have access. It was like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So thank you.
Yeah.
for that. Thank
Absolutely.
you, and Teambuildr for that. And Melissa, thank you so much for your time tonight. You have been a wonderful resource and such a professional subject matter expert with this app. And thank you so much for allowing us to play around with it. I am going to kick it now back to Harrison and Alyssa for kind of final remarks. And guys, this is another eyes. Pay attention. This is what you want to know in order to certify. Thank you, Melissa.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. And I dropped my email within the chat if anyone wants.
Thanks, Melissa. Thanks, Joe. Hey, we're at the end. What an incredible week. And just think about this journey we've been on this week. It was long, it was intense. There's 218 left of you here right now. We started with 278. So just think about that. You know, those who stay will be champions. And it is hard work. This is free in money, but it costs everyone time and effort. And we're almost there. So we got to keep it up. And there's a ton of value in this certification. Remember, it opens up so many doors for you. Already you're getting free stuff like this from Teambuildr. You know, you're going to get our gift box with a copy of the Everyday Coach book. You're going to get a coaching polo. You're going to get a whistle. But more importantly, you're going to have access to each other. The strength of Soldiers of Sidelines is the community, and then all the networking ability that this has, and the sharing of information, and the future of the online coursework, the vault of all the different seminars we've ever done and what we will do, and then access to all of our in-person workshops, which are exciting. And like the advocacy is good. I mean, while you guys are in your breakout rooms, we just got one of our soldier coaches an internship with the New York Jets for OTAs, confirmed, happened. You know, when that comes across my screen, I'm like so excited. And we have these opportunities in strength and conditioning as well. It's just, you got to put in the work. And this week we learned that, you know, we want to lead with people, right? Coaches coach people, and then we teach our sport. So as much as we got deep into the technology, we got deep into the science, we practiced programming, which is a ton of fun. None of it works if our players don't want to do it. So the rest of our education for the rest of our lives, we should always be thinking about, how do we inspire? How do we motivate? And how do we get them? How do we influence our players to do what we want them to do because they want to do it? So now we just got to get certified. We've attended all 4 nights, so we're there. Alyssa's going to check homework. I mean, she's going to check attendance to make sure that everybody was here every single night. And then you got to finish up your homeworks. And I do know life is busy. It's hard to make these 3 hours every single night and go to school and go to work and deal with your family. So we're going to give you extra time to go back and do some of those homework assignments. You'll have till Monday night, midnight, to finish anything that you haven't gotten to yet. Monday night, midnight, and then it's shut off. So attendance, finish the homeworks by Monday by midnight. And then lastly, you have to complete the final survey. You must complete the final survey, because we want to get better as coaches too, and we can't do that if we don't hear from you. Plus, it's a great way for us to check in on you. How are you doing? What can we help with? So you got to do those 3 things. Then what happens is we have to process all of this. There's 218 of y'all. Okay, so Alyssa's going to go through every single one. We're going to go through all those homeworks, and we're going to mark them complete. That's going to take some time. So because we're coming off a holiday weekend here, give us till like the end of next week, right? Maybe even to the following Monday for you to get your certification email. It's going to have a certificate with your name on it that you completed this. Keep it, save it. You're going to need that, like if you're going for some of these internships, etc. All right, so a week from Monday, expect to have that certification. If you don't get it by then and you think you certified, you can go ahead and email Alyssa, and she'll tell you what you're missing, if anything. So get those things done. Now, you're also going to get a gift box in the mail. Okay, you're going to get a gift box. So we got to make sure that your mailing address is correct, and it will come in about, call it 8 weeks from today. 8 weeks from today, you should have it by then. Again, we got to process all this, and we have to package all of it up. Then we got to get it in the mail, and then the mail has to get it to you. Okay. So about 8 weeks, you're going to get that box. And then after that, we hope to see you in person at one of our next events. I want to let you know, you all now have access to our first annual Soldiers to Sidelines Coaching Summit. This is live in person at Vanderbilt University. It's July 24th, 25th, and 26th. It's all weekend long. Okay. Vanderbilt is hosting us. Opening ceremony is going to be there. We have some incredible speakers lined up. Shouldn't let the cat out of the bag right now, but I think we're about right around the corner from closing Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the SEC, to be one of our speakers. That's going to be a big deal, but it's going to be for all sports, right? So you want to dabble in football, you want to dabble in basketball, you want to dabble in soccer, sports performance, high human skills. It's all going to be there. So anyway, July 24th, 25th, 26th, Nashville, Vanderbilt University, come to the summit. Again, it's free, and we have a hotel room at the Vanderbilt Marriott with discounted rates. So it's only like $199 a night to stay downtown. So if anything, it's a weekend in Nashville. So you have all night to go out on Broadway and not get in trouble, because we're all coaches. We do the right thing. But there's definitely some good beer and country music out there. So if y'all are interested. Anyway, I'm just so grateful for all of you. The biggest gift you can give anyone is your time and attention, and you gave it to us this week. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, you can bring your spouse or your plus one. It's your hotel room, man. You got it. Come on. I mean, I would make it a family thing. I would make it a whole day, and then you get to escape and then meet all your other fellow soldier coaches, so many military members. Again, this coaching summit is only for soldier coaches and members of the military. It's so unique to you, and it's free. Anywho, that's all I have to say now. Before I say goodbye, I'm going to pass this ball back over to Alyssa for some final words.